Nestled between the foothills of the Aberdares and Mount Kenya, the Ol Pejeta Conservancy is a sanctuary for wildlife in East Africa. Established in 2004, the founders of the Ol Pejeta Conservancy had vision of a new model for wildlife conservation.
We started out with a vision that somehow we had to make conservation something that paid for itself without having to rely on continual subsidy from either government or the donor fraternity.
Their planned solution was to completely and totally integrate a cattle business within the wildlife sanctuary.
And what we've now got is a system of land use which produces 60% more employment than we would have in an either-or situation, either wildlife and tourism or cattle. We create taxable revenues for the exchequer. And what that means is that our model for conservation, which has good numbers of wildlife and the biggest population of black rhinos in East Africa, is sustainable, it pays for itself, it contributes to the economy of Kenya, and therefore it's politically robust, and it's also something that other people can copy, and increasingly that's what we're seeing.
Today, Ol Pejeta has the largest herd of Boran cattle in the world, 7,000 strong. This goes a long way in helping Ol Pejeta take care of its most significant conservation cost: anti-poaching security for the wildlife.
So the importance of diversifying our revenue streams is it's a risk management tool. Okay? What it basically means is that if tourism disappears for whatever reason, and tourism is a very fickle business, then other revenue streams will help keep us alive, helping us to pay for the fixed costs of conservation.
Because of always being able to pay for conservation, the wildlife populations here have truly flourished, making Ol Pejeta extremely popular for visitors from both home and abroad.
We've gone from 12,000 overseas tourists per year in 1997 through to 85,000 visitors per year last year. In terms of revenues, we're now turning over as an organization $12 million a year.
The team at Ol Pejeta reinvests $1 million of this revenue back into the communities that surround the conservancy, improving livelihoods through investments in health, education, water access, and energy.
Ol Pejeta wants to see conservation and productive land use that addresses the needs of people at scale. Okay? Now, it can't buy more land. In terms of our ability to replicate our model, which is a sort of espoused vision of the board, then we needed to be engaging with other like-minded organizations, and particularly in the field of education.
The ALU School of Wildlife Conservation was created in collaboration with leading players in the sector. The school is developing future and current African leaders who make it their life's mission to conserve Africa's natural heritage.
So for me, the ALU School of Conservation is just a fantastic innovation. What I love about it is the fact that it's in Africa. You know, if you look at the rest of the world has lost its wild places. It lost them a long time ago. And the opportunity for conservation sits in Africa.
Students in the inaugural MBA for Conservation class come from leading conservation organizations, including Serena Hotels, African Wildlife Foundation, World Wildlife Fund for Nature, Sangita, Tanzania Parks Authority, and New Forests Company.
The caliber of students I met were fantastic. I mean, these were really good, switched on, actual professionals who knew a lot but had never had the opportunity to look at conservation in the way that I've described it as potentially a commercial opportunity.
300 future African leaders from across the continent started their undergraduate program at ALU Rwanda, 100% of whom will be exposed to the basics of wildlife conservation as part of their first-year curriculum. Of these, 25 full scholarships have been awarded to those who chose conservation as their mission.
So do you guys know why you're here tonight? Why are you here?
Because we wanted to know more about us.
Because we want to know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah. All of you got it wrong. The reason why you're here is not because we wanted to get to meet you. The reason you're here is because you've all been selected to get the scholarship. The selection committee thought that you are the best candidates, so congratulations.
Thanks, brother.
What a day.
This is my first time winning something.
Well done.
Particular emphasis has been placed on awarding the scholarships to young people from communities near the most protected areas and from countries facing the gravest wildlife conservation challenges in Africa.
We've offered Ol Pejeta as a resource to ALU, as a kind of learning place for people, for students to come and spend time and understand what it takes to achieve conservation and how to pay for it. I'm regularly talking to people now about ALU, but I would encourage anybody who would like to see conservation space created and maintained and sustained across Africa, in my mind, should be thinking about contacting and supporting ALU.